So it's story time. This story is called Give Bees a Chance, and it's written and illustrated by Bethany Barton. Okay, if you don't really like bees, maybe this book will help change your mind. Give bees a chance. This is my best buddy, Edgar. We love all the same things, like board games and dinosaurs, strawberries and honey. And of course, bees. Except I don't really like bees. Sure you do. Didn't I tell you there are about 25,000 different kinds of bees to love? Maybe? It's a lot of different types of bees. And then I told you about the 3 types of honeybees. There are the queens, and their job is to make the baby bees. There are the drones, and those are the males, and they help the queen make the baby bees. And the workers, they're the female bees, and they do all the work. Ah! Get them away from me! So it says here's some advice. Blow gently on bees to make them scatter. And they go away. Whew, thanks. Like I was saying, I don't like bees. But why? Mostly because of the stingers. And they have venom sacs, which are the cause of painful bee stings. That part you told me last week. Oh, but that was just one bee. Couldn't you still give bees a chance? I guess he got stung by a bee. Have you ever been stung by a bee? I have. It did hurt. It's okay. It goes away really quickly unless you're allergic. If you're allergic, then that's a little different. Maybe I just need to remind you how weird and cool a honeybee's body is. A honeybee has 5 eyes, 2 stomachs, 1 stomach for turning nectar into honey, and the other one is just for regular to digest food. Bees have 4 wings and 6 legs and a stinger on the back. Why do you think a bee needs a stinger? What do you think? It's a way to protect itself from predators, right? I guess so. Why else? Maybe you just need some time to get to know them? How about millions of years? You know, bees lived with the dinosaurs. And even ancient Egyptians kept bees. Wow, they're around a long time. In fact, honey from a bee was found in an Egyptian tomb, and you could still eat it. It was still fresh. Honey never goes bad. Perfect. Maybe you just need some honey. Bees make honey. Why are you telling me all this stuff? Oh, so you'll give bees a chance. Once you learn how great they are, you're bound to fall in love with them. Look. See the hearts in his eyes? He's in love with the bee now. Do you think he's in love with the bee yet? Look, check out how honey's made. Let's learn how honey's made, okay? So a bee gathers nectar from flowers. The nectar goes into a special honey stomach called a crop. Then what happens? Then, you're not going to believe this. One bee spits it into another bee's mouth. The new bee breaks it down into simple sugars, right? And it's processed. And then it spits it into another bee's mouth. And each time they spit it into each other's mouth, their saliva breaks down the nectar more and more. It says the honey gets barfed into a honeycomb cell. So he throws it up into the cell, and fanned by the wings of bees to get rid of all the moisture. And lastly, it's sealed with beeswax to keep it safe. Did you just say barf? Yeah. It's crazy things in the animal world, huh? It looks like I really haven't convinced you yet. Nope, because they're all gonna sting me. Oh well, bees do sting sometimes, but not because they're mean. Here we go. We're gonna learn why bees sting. Here are the stinger stories. You ready to hear the stinger stories? Let's see. Bees only sting to defend themselves or to avoid getting squished or smashed. In fact, many bees lose their stinger after they attack, which is sort of like your hand disappearing if you pinch your sister. Now imagine when you pinched your sister, your hand fell off. Well, now we know why bees attack, only because they're defending themselves. You know, bees are only this big, right? And everybody's much bigger than them, so they have to defend themselves, right? Also, what are you wearing? Bee armor. That's not going to work. It was designed for dragons. I think it can handle bees. Well, there is a kind of armor that beekeepers wear. You know, beekeepers keep bees to make honey so that they can have honey. So look at this guy. He's a beekeeper, but it looks quite a bit different. It allows them to collect honey and beeswax without getting stung by startled bees, right? So they have a collar, they have a hat with a netting over it, okay? And here's the box, that's where he keeps the beehives, and here's the hive. And then he gathers the honey from it. But giving up bees means giving up so much more than just honey. Now we're going to find out why bees are so important. You know, I love honey, but I'd be willing to give it up forever, to never see a bee again. Some scientists say bees are responsible for 1/3 of all the fruits and vegetables we eat. So many of the fruits and vegetables we eat would never grow if we didn't have bees. Bees have a big impact on our food chain. You see, in order for plants to grow fruits and vegetables, they need the right ingredients. And this is what we're going to learn soon about how a plant grows. What does it need? Sunshine, water, and it needs this very important thing. It's called pollen. A major ingredient plants need is pollen. But since flowers can't move, they can't always get pollen from each other. I want to make a strawberry. Can I borrow some pollen? Excuse me, I don't have arms to give it to you. Hey, you know when you want to bake a cake and you run out of sugar, so you bang on your neighbor's door and say, hey, can I borrow some sugar? Plants can't do that. They can't move. So how do you think they get pollen? That's where the bees fly in. A bee's fuzzy body catches pollen from flowers. Pollen falls into the next flower the bee visits. It's a pollen transporter, right? Bees act as a pollen delivery service, helping give flowers the ingredients they need. It's like the Amazon guy or the UPS guy, right? The bees take the pollen from one flower and put it into another flower. A single bee can visit over 1,000 flowers a day, making bee pollination powers unparalleled, which means without bees, there'd be a lot of less yummy stuff to eat. Yeah, we wouldn't have so many fruits and vegetables and beautiful flowers if it weren't for our friends the bees. And bees are disappearing in large numbers. Look, missing. Name bee. Occupation, pollinator. Possible reasons for disappearance? Pesticides. Okay, a lot of people like beautiful green lawns, but they put pesticides on their lawns that kill the bad bugs on the lawn. But when they kill the bad bugs, they also kill the good insects, which is a bee. Another reason is there's some parasites that just naturally kill bees. Lack of a place for a bee to live, okay? A lot of humans live in spaces where bees used to live. And pollution. Remember we talked about pollution when we talked about Earth Day? If the Earth is a dirty place, the bees can't live there. Okay, I take it back. I don't want bees gone. I even sort of want to help them as long as they don't sting me. So how do you think we can help the bees? What can we do to help bees? What do you think? Well, we can plant bee-friendly flowers, and that's a great way to help the bee population. So some flowers you can plant in your garden are blue hyssop, cone flowers, asters, lavender. You can plant lavender. It smells great and it attracts the bees and they love it. Well, won't that just attract more bees? Hopefully, yes. But just approach a bee like you would a dog you don't know. Don't get too close and don't try to touch it. Unless you're a flower, it should lose interest in you and fly away. It doesn't want to bother you. You don't have any pollen or nectar, do you? And if more people like you give bees a chance, they might just have, well, a chance to make the world a sweeter place. Oh, see that? I knew. Wait. Now, have I told you how much I love bears? Hey, you know bears love honey. So we have learned now how important bees are to our lives, to the world, right? To make beautiful flowers, but most importantly, to help plants grow that make fruits and vegetables that we love to eat and that we need to eat for us to be healthy. Okay? So we need to not pollute the earth. Don't throw your garbage on the floor, right? Keep the water clean, right? Turn your water off when you brush your teeth. We talked about that, right? We want to conserve water for the bees as well, right? So maybe we should give bees a chance. And like I said, if a bee bothers you, just get away from the bee or just lightly blow on the bee to get away, okay? I hope that I've convinced you that bees are awesome insects. What do you think?